Good morning. Thank you very much. I'm an addict, and my name is Raymond R. I want to send. I want to thank the trusted servants for your. You guys has had a worldwide impact in Narcotics Anonymous all over the world, and I appreciate you guys. And I know the magnitude of the miracle, so I appreciate you. Want to send my friend Gil P a shout out. I love you. Thank you for hanging out with me the other day. Um, so the 11th step. I don't know if you read today's just for today, but it says sick and tired. When we're sick and tired, I didn't come here for a spiritual awakening. I didn't even. It was. I almost had an allergic reaction to God was a trigger word for me. I come from religious abuse. We don't have a lot of time for that. Second step issues. I had a lot of barriers when it came to God. I didn't understand the difference between religion and spirituality. It took me a while to differentiate. You know, everybody's journey is everybody's journey. It's individual and it's personal. So my journey of spirituality and higher power and coming to believe, it took me around 4.5 years to get to a third step. Right, 4.5 years of being clean and getting sick and tired. Obviously, I'm a drug addict. I came here for drugs. I wanted to stop going to jail. I wanted my mother to stop crying. I was breaking my own rules. When you get to that place in addiction where you start breaking your own rules, and there's like a psychiatric term, cognitive dissonance or something, like where it creates turmoil, and I'm doing things I never thought I would do, and I'm a drug addict, and I'm dirty, and I can't believe this is happening, and the drugs took me way further than I thought I ever would go. So I started coming to NA. I want to be clean. I don't want to experience the consequences of drug addiction anymore. So I'm making meetings. And then you guys tell me I don't got a drug problem. I got a disease of addiction, and drugs is a symptom. That was like it messed up my equilibrium. What do you mean? I got it. Drugs are just a symptom. Drugs is every. I use drugs. I go to jail. I use drugs. I steal the VCR. I use drugs. Drugs is and that took me time to understand. Yo, Ray, abstinence is not the ticket to the show. I'm sorry, abstinence is not the show. Abstinence is the ticket to the show, right? So abstinence just gives me the ticket entry to the show. So it took me a while, and then I found out that I'm insane clean, right? Because the 11th step is a culmination. It's not just the 11th step over here where because literature says having entered this phase in our recovery, right? So is a process of phases and stages through the steps, and some people have it. What does the literature say? We differ in degree of sickness and rate of recovery. So some people it happens in 6 months, some people it happens in 16 years. I'm crawling out of the hole. I'm crawling out of my hole. You're crawling out of the hole. So it took me a while. It took me like I said, 3 years to understand that this is a disease called addiction and not just drugs. Now, all these years later, right now, I wish all I had was a drug problem. Right now, I was like, oh man, I wish I just had. If I put down the drugs, everything is no, Papito. You put down the drugs, I got mental illness, right? Oh, what mental illness? Yeah, you're without no. Forget the carpet patrol. Forget the peeking and tweaking and running around naked with a gun on cocaine psychosis. Clean, insane thoughts, clean, and solving one problem with a worse problem, clean, and being in the 12-step fellowship, and just for whatever reason, I'm not gonna do 12 steps. I don't gotta be fighting the program, resisting, rebelling, this dis-ease inside of me, and so it took me time. So do the steps little by. It's hard to have peace of mind and quiet your mind and sit still for 5 minutes like you guys do, which is a wonderful thing. When you have all this stuff in your soul echoing in your spirit, reverberating, abuse, trauma, dysfunction, sexual secrets, family, that's why 4 and 5, I need to address the cluttered spirit. I need to address the trauma. I need to address the dysfunction. I need to address in 4 and 5. And then you got these character defects, right? They're like spiritual sleeping pills. Right, I'm taking this spiritual sleeping pill. So as much as I'm trying to wake up spiritually, making meetings, doing this stuff, now I act out here and I act out there, and now I'm putting stuff on. It takes time. It took me time. So I get to 11th step, right? Make amends, payback, and I have the steps are in the It Works on White said they're there to break down barriers, every wall that's robbing me from being intimate with my higher power. So I get to 11th step. I've addressed a lot of these character defects. I addressed a lot of these untrue and unhealthy beliefs that the first step talks about. I address my religious prejudice. I address my religious abuse, spiritual. But I address issues that are blocking me. The second step says that we must identify and overcome in the step working guide. Because we're good at identifying. Right? If there's a good God, why would this happen to me when I was 9 years old? And why would this happen to me? And why is there children starving? And why this AIDS epidemic that took my whole, all this stuff that happened in my life? And where's this loving God? You guys, I had to identify and overcome the barriers. And I had to address issues, and my issues got issues, and you think you take off one mask and you got 13 more masks, and one issue pops up. So I did the work. It took me time. And I want to improve this incredible thing that I never thought I'd have a relationship with God. A relationship. I said a stupid, silly. Back in the days, they said throw your cigarettes or throw your sneakers under the bed, and when you're down there, thank your higher power for a day clean. And when in the morning, when you go get them, ask your higher power for another day clean. I said a stupid, silly prayer to a stupid, silly higher power that I didn't believe in, that I was angry at, and that stupid, silly prayer to that stupid, silly God turned into a sacred romance throughout the years. And I have this relationship that I know that God loves me. Yo, check it out. I'm alive. I'm clean. Raymond R. from Brooklyn, New York. Crackhead, mother hubber, dirty, blah, blah, blah. All this crazy crap is clean and serene. What? It's crazy. I have this God loves me. He brought me to, you know how much God loves me? He gave me Gil P. He gave me Jimmy Jam. He gave me Richie C. God loved me so much. He gave me this incredible fellowship. I got NA literature that was written by addicts for. God loves me so much. He brought me to narcotics. The Rastafarians didn't kill me. The Dominicans didn't kill me. The Puerto Ricans didn't kill me. I survived a lot. Yo, God's grace has been with me. So by the time I get to 11th step, I know you love me. I know you got my back. I know you're not mad at me. I know that all this crazy stuff that I thought was, no, you're for me. And I want more peace. I want more joy. I want to increase in intimacy. The whole thing about the 11th step, prayer and meditation, is about intimacy, right? Quality connecting with my higher power. And being able to remove all the distractions like you guys do for fun. Yo, sit still. Yo, wait, God. I pray, talk to God. God, I want to hit the lotto, and I want to go to the World Convention. I want to hopefully it's in a good country. And God, you know what I want, but your will, not mine. Let me give you my list, but I want your will, not mine. But I'm just saying, because we got a relationship, I can be honest with you, right? And I talk to God, and then I learn how to listen. Sit still. I tell the 11-step story, and I know you're gonna give me a time sign. So there's this story about an old man who has it's called an heirloom. I used to call it an earloom. I didn't know, an heirloom, right? And his great grandfather's watch. And he went out, old school story. He goes out and milks the cow, gets the meat, and he brings it into the ice house. And he's doing all these daily chores, and he realized that his father's great grand watch, his heirloom, is gone. And so he's mad. He goes, he's looking everywhere. He can't find it. He's turning up there. So he finally gives up and he goes to the house. He kicks the cat. He's angry. His wife said, "What's wrong with you?" He said, I lost my great grandfather's watch. She goes, what do you mean you lost it? What did you? I milked the cow. I did the thing with the meat. I brought it. She says, "Did you buy?" He said, "I looked everywhere. I can't find it. It's gone. It's lost." She says, "Where did you go?" He said, "You're not gonna find it. I looked everywhere." So she goes out the house, and she comes back 5 minutes later with his watch in his hand. And he says, "How did you find that? What did you do?" She says, "Well, I went to the ice house, I shut the door, and I sat still for 2 minutes. And I heard a tick, 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 tick. And I got to watch." So that story, sometimes Raymond is too busy doing all this stuff, trying to make things happen, moving and grooving, trailblazing. I gotta sit still. How can I hear God if I'm moving, doing so much talking and moving around? And Ray, sit still. She said, "I went to the ice house for 2 minutes. I sit still and I heard a tick, tick, That's interesting, because sometimes we're just too busy. I'm too moving around. I got to sit still and chill. So I've learned how to pray and meditate. Listen, God's been talking to me through literature. God's been talking to me through other recovering addicts speaking at meetings. God speaks to me through movies. I watch movies. I'm like, I'm having an 11-step experience. I'm watching a gang movie about jail and murder, and like, God, I can't believe I'm having 11 seconds, watching a crazy murder movie. I mean, I don't want to mention the name of the movie, but I'm watching these guys, and God is speaking. Or I watched a movie with my grandkids and the little car, and I'm having 11-step experience. And God speaks to me through music. God speaks to me through my pain. God, it's funny because you guys know this, right? If I tell you, when I say God speaks to me, people say, Raymond's getting weird, right? If I tell you the disease speaks to me, you got no problem with that, right? The disease told me, the disease, say that, share, helps him. I say God speaks to me. People say, back up, he's getting weird. No, we have a conscious, intentional, aware. I have a conscious contact. I'm seeking God. I have 11-step appointments every week. Every day you have 11-step 5 minutes. Boom, let's sit down. Every week I put myself in a position. I go to a place. I have my 11-step appointments. I have my 3rd-step appointments. I'm seeking after God. When we sought after, to seek, to pursue, to investigate, to chase after. I know if you look at January 2nd, I believe our greatest need is to know what God's will is and have the power to do that, not my will. And so in the 11th step, I have this incredible relationship. I'm able to just, sometimes what the 11th step is? Just be shut up, bro. Just be shut up. 11th step. Don't say it. Just because you think it, doesn't mean you have to say it. Chew on your words. Taste them before you let them out your mouth. The 11th step, sometimes just be shut up. 11th step. Don't say, let your wife say whatever she has to say. You don't have to let this guy, you don't got to tell him, all the little, you don't got to be the guy who has the last word all the time. You don't always got to be right no more. You don't always have to give your input. You can just be shut up at let's go to the diner, go eat, can you pass the ketchup? And it's okay, Part of 11th step is being able to go through, a lot of people know I had deaths in recovery. I lost 2 kids. I lost my brother. I lost my mother. I lost my sponsor. You have losses, and being able to navigate through very difficult times. That's where I need peace when I'm in the midst of the storm. That's when I need peace the most. When I got to bury my son and the disease has given me a book study and it's not good. And my emotions are overwhelming. I need a higher power. I need a connection with God it says emotional balance. Look at what it says, that when our spiritual needs are met, not when you're talking good, Raymond, not when you're quoting literature, Raymond, not when you're doing religion, Raymond, not when your spiritual needs are actually met, whatever that means. When that happens, it says our living problems are reduced to a point of comfort. What are living problems? I'm burying people I love. I had strokes to my brain. I have medical issues. I'm aging in recovery. People are dying. People relapse. People leaving the NA on a religious zeal. And I'm powerless. And I cannot control people. And I got to give people the dignity of their own personal decisions and their own insanity if that's what they choose. And to have peace with other people's decisions. And have peace, other people changing their mind. I thought we was going to do this together. I thought we were going to ride or die. No, they changed their mind. They got a right to change their mind. Do you have peace? So being able to practice this program and live the spiritual principles, the main thing about the 11th step for me is the power. I think most addicts know what God's will. What is God's will? If I had to generalize and keep it simple in NA, God's will is simple. Practice spiritual principles instead of your character defects. That's what, in general, and I hate to oversimplify it, but if you're driving and somebody cuts you off, practice, don't chase them. Don't get out the car. You get out the car, you're going to jail. 11th step, don't get, 1 minute, thank you very much. Okay. So just the 11th step, being able to pause when things happen, right? Pause. You guys know pause, what pause stands for. I got the guy cuts me off. This happens, pause. You know what pause stands for? Pray and use step 11, right? Pause, sit still, pray, call my sponsor, lift up a prayer, talk to my higher power. Ray, what spiritual principles do you need to apply right now when you're overwhelmed with emotion and you're thinking is crazy? What spiritual, because that's when it matters the most. Emotional balance, spiritual power. So I'm grateful. Gil, thank you for the invitation. Conscious Contact, I love you guys. I hope to see you all in New York the last weekend of August. We're going to be dancing in Times Square. We got all types of stuff. Times Square, New York. All right, come down to the Greater New York, the Impossible Dream Convention. Quick commercial, my last 10 seconds. Last weekend of August is going to be like a mini world convention, Times Square, New York. I'm an addict. My name is Raymond R. from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you for letting me share.
We'd like to thank Raymond for sharing with us today. Thank you, Raymond.